Hey, how's it going, guys? Jack and Matt here with the Toasty Roast, and today we're checking out one of the cheapest gaming PCs from Amazon.
Can it actually game? Well, we're about to find out, but first, a word from today's sponsor. Friends don't let friends run unactivated Windows, and today's video sponsor, GVG Mall, has you covered with really good prices on Windows 10 Pro keys. If you use code TB20 on checkout for Black Friday, you can save 30% off their really well-priced keys, making them $13.49. GVG Mall has been our go-to to activate Windows, and it's super easy to do. Buy the key, go to your Windows settings, and boom, pop the key in there, and you're activated and ready to go. They also have really good deals on Microsoft Office as well, and you can use the same code to save 30%. So check the link down below to learn more, and special thanks again to GVG Mall for sponsoring today's video. Now, a couple things to get out of the way. We purchased this PC from Amazon with Prime shipping with the idea of it being the cheapest one you can buy with Prime shipping. At the time, it was $400, but at the time of recording this now, it's about 500 bucks. So we'll talk more about the value proposition as we're unboxing this thing, but it's just another one of our revisits to buying a cheap PC from Amazon, because a lot of you like to shop on Amazon because of that Prime shipping and just see if it's worth picking up. So let's just open it. All right, so what I have to say about this PC is a couple things. One, it has, well, meh specs. Let's be honest here. It's not the greatest specs, but I will give some perspective, and Jackson can confirm some perspective here. Owning a PC selling business in 2021, going into 2022, it's kind of tough. It's kind of tough to have stuff if you don't know the right people. And some of these companies that sell these PCs on Amazon, well, they have to make money somehow. You got business, you got expenses, you got stuff like that. So for $400, I believe you're getting a GTX 650, which is an older graphics card, and it just says i5. I don't know what i5, but it is an i5, and this is from the Alarco brand, which I've never seen their logo before. I've only seen like their name on Amazon, but there actually is a little pamphlet here that shows you how to set up your PC. But they're a pretty well-known brand on Amazon. We've seen them for years. Back when the market was better, they were selling these PCs still for $400, and at that price point, it really just didn't make a whole lot of sense. But given the market right now, are these worth it? And look at this, it actually gives you the best setting guides for Fortnite, because I have a feeling, I have a feeling people are, well, probably running on like lower resolution. So they're benchmarking at 1600 by 900, which honestly is probably ideal for a 650. You're gonna run like a 720p monitor or something like that. And we are on pro settings, which is epic view distance, everything else on low. We'll put that to the test, and I don't know what they claim the FPS is, but we'll get there later. And yeah, on the inside, we have a basic little PC. Nothing too crazy. I'm gonna assume, just guessing here, it's probably like an i5 2400 or a 3470, something along those likes. I'm gonna get a screwdriver to open it up because it actually is really hard to open. The one downside I know that this has that some other pre-built companies actually don't do, I think this only has a hard drive in it, which is kind of disgusting.
Single stick of RAM too.
And a single stick of RAM. Those are some sacrifices they had to make to get the i5 within that budget.
And a PVIA power supply.
And a PVIA power supply. So a lot of this stuff is a lot cheaper, and this is not new to us. We did a video, I think about 2 years ago, on one that was almost exactly the same as this one, and it was still 400 bucks 2 years ago. So the fact that their pricing hasn't changed that much, and the fact that they're actually asking $500 now, not the greatest offering in the world, but we're gonna go ahead and still test it and give it its best opportunity to, well, show us if it can actually game. We're gonna open up all the side panels here so we can look at everything.
I see a couple of signs here. So one is we do have USB 3, so I'm thinking this might actually be like a 3470, or maybe they threw in like one of those i5T processors that are cheaper.
It could be like a fortune. The cable management is kind of non-existent. I mean, there's a lot of RGB here, but the least you could do is just go like, you know,
this thing's gonna be slow, dude. I already see that's a WD green drive. You can kind of see the green sticker in there.
Yeah, that's not hot.
You know what storage we're looking at? Like what size?
I think it's like a 500 gig. Yeah. So got the graphics card, the 650, just as GTX 650. This thing only has 1 gig of VRAM. It's not the greatest, but it can play your Fortnites and your Valorants, which is what they're advertising this for. So do keep in mind that's a pretty good option. And yeah, the single stick of memory, 8 gigs, and the motherboard's really tiny and all that sort of stuff. Let's just actually turn it on, I guess. There's really not much else to say about it. This does have RGB though, which back in our day, we used to say, you know, RGB sells PCs, and it still is kind of the case.
Hey, we bought it.
Yeah, when we bought it because it has RGB, and you probably clicked on it, this video, because it had RGB. So is the RGB working?
I think we actually have, dude, look at that.
Nice. So yeah, it's kind of subtle. I'll be honest with you, it's pretty, it's getting a little brighter actually.
What is this, like, white artifacting happening on these fans.
I'm not sure what's happening. So that's supposed to be RGB. We're getting like a weird like flicker. So I don't really know if there's some issues going on with the fans. They're not very bright, I'll be honest with you.
The case is kind of, did you see the front?
Yeah.
It's, they try to copy like the Continuum design.
Oh, okay.
Like
that's actually pretty cool. We'll have some B-roll on screen. Yeah, there's a peel. That'll probably make it look a lot better. What's going on?
All right, we're gonna peel it. We're gonna peel it together. We're gonna Lady in the Tramp it. Ooh.
Yeah, that's nice. That's a very different look. So I do like
that. That is a mirror, bro.
I think I've seen this PC case on Amazon, so we might have to do a build in it at some point. But yeah, I mean, it works. It boots up. Well, I can't say it works. I haven't really plugged it up yet, but it boots up. So we got that going for us. So what we're gonna do, of course, is test this in some esports titles. We're gonna install some games, play it, and just try to give a reasonable test for a PC with a 650, and then just kind of discuss a little bit more about the value proposition and wrap the video up real quick. All right, guys, I swear we're trying to get this thing to work, but we're having a couple of issues. First thing first, this thing is, well, throwing a bunch of errors. At first, as you can see on screen here, I did a little recording. We just kept getting audio disconnecting and reconnecting from the Realtek audio driver. Don't really know what that is. I think it has something to do with us using our capture card. But then now I installed drivers to see if that would fix it. Went to NVIDIA's website, downloaded 650 drivers. It installed, went to a black screen. I had to unplug and replug the HDMI in. But then after that, we restarted the PC, and now we're completely locked up. Like, this is just not working right now. So we're gonna do a hard reset, see if anything works better. And also, this thing is really loud. Like, just listen to this. Jesus, that thing is so loud. So we're gonna try restarting it again and give it a shot. If you're seeing this right now, it's probably because, well, we never actually got the benchmark started, or the benchmarks took a lot longer to get started. But we're just gonna try again and see what happens. Oh my God, this thing does not want to work. I just restarted the PC, and look at this. We're hung up once again. I don't know, man. Maybe I shouldn't have installed the drivers. Maybe that's my fault, but it really looked like it needed drivers. And what if the average consumer was told to get drivers to make this thing run faster, and now it's hung up again? It's not working. What did I expect? Well, I expected more than this. I expected a functioning computer. Even though it has older hardware, I expected a computer that would actually work properly, but I don't know, man. I don't know. All right, so after a hard restart once again, I think we're in business. I'm just gonna launch this without MSI Afterburner and just see if we can get into Fortnite. And then if this works, then you will see benchmarks right after this. If it doesn't work, you will see me again showing you a video of it not working. So let's just see what happens. Alright guys, now that we have this PC, well, somewhat working, let's go ahead and talk about the benchmarks I was actually able to run. First up, in Fortnite on 1080p epic view distance, which is basically the same exact settings that that little card had when we unboxed the PC, we got like 40 FPS. I did run the render scale at 75% to simulate basically 1600 by 900 resolution, and well, that really didn't do that well. It was definitely pinged at 100%, the GTX 650 that is, and only getting about 40 FPS, well, made for a not great experience. I landed, I got shot, I got killed instantly. So I decided to try Fortnite performance mode, which actually gave us way more frames, 60 to 100 FPS, and I thought, well, this PC is working perfectly fine now. Well, no, I got a couple kills, went running around, then eventually, bam, the whole system just crashed. It crashed again. The stability of this system is what really brings up a lot of concerns. I know the specs aren't great, but the fact that this thing is not stable is a problem. You really want to have a functioning computer, even if it's pretty low spec. And if you're paying $400 out of your hard-earned money to buy this on Amazon and get a computer that doesn't work, well, that's not too good. Of course, you can return this to Amazon and potentially get a new system, but I don't know. With this kind of hardware configuration, I have a feeling it's a configuration issue and not just a one-off issue where the system is going to crash, but a new one wouldn't do that. Now, next up in CSGO at 1080p on low settings, we did not get a crash, but we averaged about 70 to 80 FPS. I played for about 5 to 10 minutes, which is basically what I did with Fortnite, and we did not get a crash. So don't take my word for it. It may crash if you play longer, but actually playing here, we had a reasonable result. But it is CSGO. I mean, the 650 was around when CSGO was released, and you know, it's a game that should run on a GTX 650 and an i5 2400, so it's impressive that it works, but it's also not that impressive. But overall, this PC is interesting. For $400, I can understand a full large business having to charge that price for this hardware spec. You got margins, you got to be able to pay your employees, you got to pay for factory shipping and stuff. Coming from someone who owns a PC selling business, I totally understand having to make money, but if there's no stability here, if the system keeps crashing, that's a totally different issue. That's not a price issue, that's a hardware issue. So overall, not super happy with this PC. Maybe a fresh Windows install would fix everything. Throw in an SSD, you're good to go, but we like to test systems as they come in like the average consumer would, and it looks like this ain't doing too hot. So now that we finished the benchmarking, or whatever this sort of was, section of today's video, let's bring Jackson back in here to wrap this video up real quick.
Alright guys, so in conclusion, this computer acts just like the other really cheap Amazon deals we've gotten, where you're kind of like, okay, this isn't a bad price, you know, for like $400 or $500, it's not the worst, but then you actually go to game on it like it's advertised. I mean, look at this thing, it's meant to be gamed on, and it does the thing all the other ones do, and that is randomly blue screen, crash, freeze up, black screen, whatever.
As mentioned in the benchmarking section of the video, you can obviously return this. That's the benefit of Amazon, is you can get your money back and you can send it back to the seller and potentially get a new one. But I just have this strange feeling that it's gonna do the exact same thing with a new system. Could be wrong, you could just throw in a new SSD, new Windows install, and that might actually fix it. But just based on the average consumer picking this thing up, not wanting to do anything else because they just don't know how to actually work on computers, well, this one might be a stay away, and just be very careful when looking at it on Amazon. So if you want to pick up some, well, this PC, I guess, link down below. I don't really know if I'm actually going to link it because it seems kind of scummy if I do, so probably not going to be there, but we'll leave a link to something cool, like a banana phone.
Or an alternative.
Oh, yeah.
An alternative, I mean, I'm just saying.
We have an alternative, PCBros.tech.
PCBros.tech. So as always, hope you guys enjoyed today's YouTube video. If you did, check out our other two YouTube channels and also our twitch.tv/Toastybros, where we live stream Monday through Sunday. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
And we'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.
So Matt mentioned, you know, you could just return this, but we're not those guys. We're not the kind of guys to buy something for a video and then just return it, even if it doesn't work. We're going to fix it and resell it at our company.
PCBros.tech is our PC selling business where we sell computers to you guys. If you like us, buy PCs from us. PCBros.tech. See you guys later. Goodbye.
We actually have good customer support.
Yeah, customer support, A1.